I got my books. They came today. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel with me. It's Aina with another new video. So, as you guys can see from the title, I'm going to share you guys my September wrap-up. So I'll be sharing my thoughts and feelings about the book that I've read in September, and I'm going to be showing you guys my October TBR list, as well as the recent books that I purchased, because the other day I just received my books from Book Depository, so that's exciting. I even did a reaction video of opening the mail, so you guys will see that a bit later. I hope you guys are having a good day today. If not, I hope you guys are enjoying your day however you guys can. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and comment anything you guys want to comment down below. And yeah, let's just get into it. So the first book that I read in September is this cute, beautiful story called Caravel by Stephanie Garber. I kid you not, this book was crazy. It was a roller coaster, and I enjoyed from cover to cover. The story, the plot, the characters was very funny, it was very engaging. I love the story, I love the plot twist. And there's a cliffhanger at the end because this is a series. There's 3 books in this series. I'm not sure what it's called, but all of the other readers that I saw, they called it like the Caravel series. There's 2 more books. It's called Legendary and Finale. So I have those 2 books too, and I'll show you guys like a bit later. But I did show you guys, I think, in my previous videos, but whatever. Caravel, it's a story about these 2 sisters who went to Caravel, which is like a game and show for people that can participate, or if they want to like just watch the show. So it's a game that happens every year, I think, from Master Legend, which is the host. And these 2 sisters, they went to Caravel because they want to win the game and they will receive this one big wish for them. But turns out things went sideways for the sisters, and the characters are named, oh my god, I forgot what's their name. I want to say Jude and Taryn, but that's like the Folk of the Air series. Scarlett and Donatella. So the 2 sisters, Scarlett and Donatella, they went to Caravel, but things went sideways for Scarlett, and she met this other character named Julian, and I just love their, I don't want to say relationship because they weren't having a relationship, but the tension from these 2, I just love it so much. I love the characters in here. I love the character building. I love seeing, like, from the beginning, Scarlett, who was being so scared and anxious. You can see throughout the whole entire book that she was anxious all the way from her growth. So that's really interesting. I love a book that has good character growth. I love this book, and I think it's a really good story. It has a really good storyline. The plot is also really good. The writing also, it's not that bad. I mean, the writing structure is really good. The second book that I read is the September's classic book, which is F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. Okay, where do I even start for this book? I got bored. I was bored reading this. I don't know why. It just didn't click with me. It felt like a chore that I had to read through this, and it's only 9 chapters and what, 150, 160 pages? 170, so 169 technically. 169 pages, this thin, and it felt like a chore. I don't know why I didn't like it. I think the story was quite boring. But yeah, I just didn't like The Great Gatsby. I don't know why. Of course, the writing is really good. It's just that I don't know why. I wasn't as engaged as I was with Dorian Gray, and I know those are like separate writing styles because it's from 2 different authors, but it just didn't click. I thought I would enjoy this, but I just didn't. I just felt bored. Yeah, I didn't even annotate because I thought it would be like a quick, easy read. There were some parts that I didn't understand, because I think there was a chapter where Gatsby kind of like told Nick the truth about who he is, and I didn't understand. I was like, wait, that's it? He just straight away and told that Gatsby isn't who he is, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, the story is actually about Gatsby, who is this high profile, famous, rich person in the society, but his background is actually from a normal kind of background, and he actually inherit all of his wealth from a different person. I think that's basically the main plot, and that's not I hope that's not a spoiler, but when it reached to that part, I was like, is this when he's telling? So I didn't quite understand. So I may have to reread this when I'm like not slumped with work, because I feel like that's the main thing about reading classic, is to read when you have your fullest attention and interest, because if not, you're not going to enjoy that story. And that's how I felt when I was reading this book. I didn't enjoy it. So I may have to reread this in the near future, but who knows. For now, I'm glad I finished reading this. So the next book that I read in September is the last book of the Folk of the Air series, which is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I'm quite proud because I finished this series. So I just can't believe it, because I know this series is quite popular on Book Talk or book community. So I'm just glad that I managed to finish the series. Overall, I kind of enjoyed this book. Like, I do enjoy the storytelling. I do enjoy the world building. I don't know why I was expecting a lot of bloodshed in this series, but it didn't, because, like, you know, the storyline, or like the main plot, is about the Elfheim's political structure of like who's going to be king, who's going to rule, you know, how is Jude, you know, controlling things, trying to make things go her way. So that was like the main plot of the story. But, you know, since it's about politics and war and who's being king, who's ruling here, why isn't there any like minor war, minor fighting scenes of serious moments happening? So I didn't quite understand that, but that's just my feelings about it. For the third book, it felt kind of the same like the first book. I actually, to be honest, I started reading this having no expectations, because, you know, comparing the first two books, I was like, okay, let's not have a lot of expectations with this book. The plotline was not bad. I just didn't like the ending. Honestly, I did not like the ending. I don't know why. I just did not like the ending. I felt it was too short and too quick. Like, all of that, the ending, like all of that happened, it's not even in 3 days, and I just felt kind of off about it. Like, why? Like, if it was in a real, well, you can't say it's in a real situation because it's a fantasy story, but like, I just felt like, why did she made it so short? Because I feel like she could have written more about it, as in like of what happened to Cardan. I feel like things could be more serious and things could happen more. I don't really know how to explain it without spoiling the whole book. So something drastic happened to Cardan, and I was like, okay, this thing happened, but why it's not even in the span of 3 days where everything happened and everything was resolved? And the ending could be kind of predictable for some people, and I kind of expected that ending of what Jude was going to do, and I was like, okay. I did not like the ending to be that short, and even like the final battle was short, and I was like, what? Where's the seriousness? Where's the bloodshed? Where's the fighting? Where's the clinking and clacking of swords? Like, I want to read that, but yeah, that's basically it. Overall, I would say that this series is a 4 out of 5, because I do enjoy the second and third book better. So the last book that I read, initially I planned to read another book, but apparently the book that I got was the third book out of that series, which is called The Poet King. That's the third book, and apparently there's 2 more books that I had to get, and I couldn't find it in any bookstores, because I remember going to bookstores when I was trying to find Finale and Legendary for the Caravel series. I remember finding that with Fika, and I was like, oh, they don't have the first and second of that Poet King series. So I was quite bummed, but I just felt like I wanted to read another book because I had like a week left, because I finished this like 2 weeks ago. So I had like a week left in September to read, and I decided to read Hunger by Jackie Morse Kessler. And oh my god, just like Caravel, this is a gem. to me, this was a gem that I found in Book Access because I was just browsing through Book Access. Where did I go? I think it was Book Access Ipo. Book Access Ipo. Okay, yeah, this is Book Access Ipo. So I was just browsing through because I was initially looking for another book, the other books that I want for my TBR, but there wasn't any, and I found this, and I was like, ooh, the cover is nice and everything, like I mentioned in my previous video. And when I started reading this, I was like, interesting. This book is really interesting. I think I should put a trigger warning because this book does talk about anorexia, and it does have a scene where the author explained in detail what one of the character was doing because that character also suffers an eating disorder. It talks about anorexic, it has suicide attempt and depression as well. So just to put it out there, if you guys see this book in bookstores and you guys want to read it, just a trigger warning, it does have that kind of mental health problems and eating disorder. So yeah, so throughout this book you're going to see how the main character Lisa, how she battles with her inner demon and her eating disorder, and you're going to see how she becomes feminine and how she manages to like accept herself and accept the part that she's struggling with. You're going to see quite a few moments that I think it's funny with Death, the character. He is so funny and I just love his remarks and his dialogues. It's really funny. You're going to see other character from the Four Horsemen, which is Pestilene and War. You get to see her little personality too, and you get to understand her through her inner monologue with her like inner demon because she's battling anorexia. The ending is not what I quite expected because throughout the book you're going to see her being feminine and doing her thing. I thought something else was going to happen, but because what I thought was that she's going to like wake up from a dream or something. She's going to take all of the thing that happened throughout the book as a dream because she's going to wake up and think like, oh, I actually need help. But no, the ending was not what I was expecting. And I was like, damn, this happened instead. And then in the end, I felt like it was quite heartwarming of what she did. I just felt like, okay, this ending is better than what I wanted. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the plot line. I think the plot line was well structured, and I think the writing style was well structured too. I finished my September with this, and I do really enjoyed all the books that I read throughout September. So these are the books that I read in September. Moving on to the recent books that I purchased recently that I got from Book Depository, and I'm just really happy that I purchased these books because I've wanted to read these books for so long. Before I get into it, I'm going to show you guys a clip of me reacting to opening, like unboxing. I forgot what I bought, but now I remember. Let me see if I can. First book is this poetry book called Hera Lindsay Bird by Hera Lindsay Bird. The cover is really cool and it's really like simple, like it's not that thick. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Dakota Warren, she read this book and I think she recommended in one of her videos like a poetry recommendations. I can't remember. She recommended this to start like reading real poetry because some poetry books are not technically poetry. I wanted to read this and I'm glad that this was on Book Depository because there are other books. There were 2 books that I wanted to purchase but it wasn't on that website, so I had to I just put it aside. I was like, okay, I'll purchase this later because it's in dollars. This book, another poetry book. I'm really excited. The second book, oh my god, put a live reaction here. I know what book this is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so pretty. I got this. It's called The Devil Makes Three by Tori Bovalino. So this was recommended by a friend that I just recently met a couple weeks ago, a month ago, I can't remember. So I asked her, like, can you recommend me books that have enemies to lovers trope, because I wanted to start reading more of those genre, especially if it's fantasy. So she recommended me this, and actually she recommended me like a lot of others, but I decided to buy this one first because this is the first book that she recommended to me. I think this is a standalone book. It's not a series, a duo, or anything like that. So I think it's a standalone book, and I can't wait to read this. But yeah, I'm really happy. Yes, this is The Devil. I really like the cover too. It's really nice. I can't wait to read this. The third book, insert reaction here. Oh, I know what book this is. Oh my god. I've been dying to get this book. I've been dying to read it. I cannot believe I have this book, and it's in my favorite color. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I've wanted to read this for so long. Like, I wanted to get this for so long, but I just kept getting other books randomly, and I managed to get this finally. And of course, blue is my favorite color. I think one of the reasons why I wanted to get this first book as a first Colleen Hoover book, because it's blue. And of course, when I read the synopsis, I was like really interested, because I was like, ooh, this seems like my kind of story. I'm excited because I know Colleen Hoover is quite a famous author in the book community. Like, she has a ton of books published, and this is my first Colleen Hoover book. I hope I'll enjoy this. If you guys read this, please do comment like what you guys think about this. So the last book that I got, this is really, like, I feel like this would set the mood to my fall reading kind of vibe, because I've seen a lot of other readers are reading this to like have that fall or autumn vibe. Insert reaction here. I got a peek of it, so I don't want to open it because it's like this is just, I'm like So that's my reaction to The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I can't believe I got this because I know it's quite popular in Bookstagram. So yeah, I got this. Really happy with my recent purchases. I really want to start reading this poetry book and Ugly Love. So let's get into my October TBR list. I think I'm going to plan to read 4 books for this month as well, because I feel like I can challenge myself to read 4 books since I managed to do that in September. Of course, the major important books that I want to finish is the Caravel series. So the first 2 books that I'm going to be reading for October is Finale and Legendary. This is the 2nd and 3rd book for Caravel, and apparently these 2 books are not centered around Scarlett's POV. It's her sister, Donatella. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, because I really like reading from Scarlett's POV. I really do like Scarlett, because in the first book, in Caravel, Donatella was mostly absent. So this is going to be interesting. I feel like I'm going to do a reading vlog for the whole series. So I think I'll continue talking about these 2 books there in the other video. I chose for this month's classic read is a reread for this book, and it's called Pride and Prejudice from Jane Austen. If you guys know me, you guys can tell that I'm still trying to avoid reading Wuthering Heights, because based on my other classic book, that's one of the thinner books of my classic. I do have Catcher in the Rye. I think it's called The Catcher in the Rye, The Catching in the Rye. I have that, and I have To Kill a Mockingbird. But for some reason, I'm still putting those 2 books off because I don't feel like reading those yet. And I know I love Pride and Prejudice, especially the movie. I think I've watched that movie a couple hundred times already on Netflix. And I know there's another adaptation, which is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That was fun, and I love that movie too, because Mr. Darcy in that movie is really good looking. I want to reread this because I DNF'd earlier, like a few years back, I remember, and I still have the bookmark. Moosh. It's a jewelry store. I was on chapter 25 is where I stopped, and I was like, damn, why did I stop? I want to reread this because I feel like I would enjoy the book also, since I love the movie so much, but I don't know why I just never finished it a few years back. And I think it's because I just didn't feel like reading. I was in the worst reading slump ever a few years ago, so I want to reread this again. And yeah, this is October's classic book. Another book that I wanted to read, I think, is, I want to read this, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, because I really wanted to read this. So since I have it, I'm going to start this as well for October. I think I'm going to try insert this book for October. I have other poetry books that I haven't gotten around to. Like, I still have Langleaf's poetry books of hers that I have, and I haven't read those. So who knows, I just might start those again. So this would be all of it. How many books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5! That's another challenge, because I just challenged myself to read 4 for September, and now it's 5 for October. Great. Since I received all of my books, I'm in the mood to buy more books because it's fun. I don't know why. Like, I don't mind spending my money on books because in the end, I'm going to read them anyway. I'm going to buy the books that I want to read. So I think that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys haven't. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!